The NFL regular season is only 5 weeks away and both conferences look pretty good. The NFC in particular is pretty stacked this year, but only a few teams have what it really takes to get to the Super Bowl. Today I'm going to be ranking the top 5 teams in the conference and who has the best chance to get to the Super Bowl. Some of these you may already expect, some of y'all might be upset because y'all team not in the top 5, but this is my top 5 at the moment. In addition to that, Madden 27 drops August 13th, and right now I'm running a giveaway to random subscribers. If we can reach 50 subs by then, I will be giving away free copies of Madden 27. If we reach our first 100 subs by that time, I will be giving away free copies of the deluxe edition of Madden 27. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel, follow any of the social media platforms, and comment your favorite team under this video for a chance at the giveaway. Now let's get into it. First, I'm going to get to my honorable mention for the season. This team made it just outside of my top 5, and that team is going to be the Detroit Lions. Now, the Lions missed the playoffs last year after being eliminated by their division rival Minnesota Vikings on Christmas Day. Even with not making the playoffs last year, this team is very talented, and their division was extremely competitive last year. The NFC West had 3 teams in the playoffs last year, but if they didn't, I feel like the Lions would have been the 3rd team from their division to make the playoffs, so they'll definitely be back for revenge. This team is still full of superstars and stacked, and they have been ranked with the easiest schedule of the season, so look out for the Lions this year. Now for the real number 5, and that's going to be the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers finished 12-5, which was 3rd place in their division, and they still made it to the playoffs. They even made it to the divisional round. This offseason, with the addition of Mike Evans, I feel like this team's receiving core got a lot better, adding to Ricky Pearsall, who showed to be a good young option for this team. In addition to that, they still got Christian McCaffrey, who's a top 5 running back in the league when healthy, and they also have a quarterback in Brock Purdy, who remains one of the most efficient quarterbacks in football today. Dre Greenlaw, who missed the season last year with injury, is going to be back, and that adds leadership to this defense, who had a lot of questions. And to cap it all off, they still have Kyle Shanahan at head coach, who keeps them competitive year in and year out. If this team wants to make it back to another Super Bowl, they have to address some of these concerns that's coming up this season. One of the biggest concerns and one of the reasons why they have to address this so quickly is because a lot of their key players are getting older. On top of that age, year-to-year injuries keep them from being at the top each year, which I feel like they have the potential to be. In addition to their key players getting older and the injuries that they face, this team is playing in probably the toughest division in football right now. Like I said earlier, this division had 3 teams that made it to the playoffs last year, and it's definitely possible that that could happen again this year. In addition to that, their biggest concern though, even though they have a very explosive offense, they have one of the worst pass defenses. They was ranked 25th in the league last year in pass defense. Even with these concerns, I still feel like this team is a top 5 team in the conference and could definitely still make the playoffs this year. The number 4 team in the NFC has to be the Chicago Bears. Even though this team did not make it all the way to the Super Bowl last year, they showed a lot of great signs that they can be competitive with just about anybody in the NFC. And honestly, that all starts with Caleb Williams. Last year in particular, he showed a lot of signs of becoming a superstar in this league. Even though they did lose DJ Moore at the receiver spot, they still have a lot of young talent on offense with Rome Odunze and Luther Burden. They also got a good running back in DeAndre Swift, who seems like he's getting better year after year. On top of that, Ben Johnson making it to the playoffs and looking that good within his first year with the Chicago Bears is also a good sign for them to go further this year. The coaching paired with the talent that they have on this team shows that they can be a good team in the playoffs if everything goes well for them. But even with all the talent, we cannot ignore the concerns that come with this team. I think for things to really take a good turn for this team and for them to actually improve, they're going to have to get some good veteran talent in there. Right now, they're just relying heavily on the young players getting better and their development. On top of that, there has been many questions about this team's defense, particularly their running defense. Last year, they ranked 27th in the league in rushing defense, and this has to get better if they want to be a competitive team. Defense wins games. Now we have officially reached the top 3 in the conference. Before we get to the top 3 though, I just want to remind y'all to sub to the channel and turn on them post notifications. Do whatever you got to do, because if you love NFL content, we're going to be covering the NFL all season. Now let's get into this top 3. Now to me, the number 3 team in the NFC division this year is going to be the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. Now with this team being as good as they were last year, and even with them winning the Super Bowl and proving to be at the top of the NFL last year, this team has elite coaching, and you cannot forget about the home field advantage that comes with playing this team. On top of that, I feel like last year they proven that they can win big games whenever they need to. Not to mention they have one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver in the league right now, in Jackson Smith-Njigba. A lot of people, including myself, wonder if this team is going to be a one-hit wonder though, because over the offseason this team lost a lot of key pieces. Starting off with losing their Super Bowl MVP MVP in Kenneth Walker. Now, with him winning the Super Bowl MVP, you had to know that he was going to ask for the bag, and I don't feel like Seattle's in a place to do that right now, especially for a running back. So with that being the case, Kenneth Walker ended up leaving and going to the Kansas City Chiefs, signing for a contract worth up to $45 million. A lot of the Seahawks fans were sad to see him go, but were happy that he was going to go out and get a big payday. Another thing holding this team back from continuing success would be the loss of Rick Woolen, who ended up going to the Philadelphia Eagles, and Kobe Bryant. These were two key pieces on their defense who led to a lot of their success. And again, I have to mention that this team is a part of the NFC West, which is the toughest division in football. It was the toughest division in football last year, and again, I'm stating that this will be the toughest division in football again this season. Now we're getting down to the nitty gritty, and this year my number 2 team is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. Now this is my favorite football team, but I have to be unbiased when I'm making this list. This is the number 2 team. They have one of the best, if not the best, dual threat quarterback in the NFL right now in Jalen Hurts, and they had a tremendous offseason. They was able to load up on some key pieces. In addition to that, they were able to load up and lock in elite defensive talent with Rick Woolen and Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter proved that he could be one of the best defensive linemen in the NFL. He got a big contract for that, and Rick Woolen played a big part in Seattle's success last year. Now he's a part of this already good Eagles defense and secondary. On top of that, the Eagles were already able to make up for some concerns over the offseason, finding small pieces to make up for AJ Brown, but most importantly, drafting Mekhi Lemon in this year's NFL draft. Now, even though this is my favorite team, we do have to look at some of the concerns with this team walking into this new season. One of the biggest concerns that this team had with them last year is being able to get the running game back to what it was 2 years ago with Saquon Barkley. That's going to be a big focus, and it's going to be a big microscope on this team to see if they can get back to that type of production. Another big concern, even though I stated that we had a few good pieces that we added, the team honestly also has to adjust to getting rid of AJ Brown. Now, the Eagles do have what I think is a good number 1 option in Devontae Smith, but to answer these concerns, we also added, like I said, Mekhi Lemon over the draft, Hollywood Brown, Elijah Moore, and Dontavion Wicks. So honestly, we all just got to wait and see how this team works out with these new pieces. And one consistent concern that this team has had every year is that they're walking into this season with yet another new offensive coordinator. So honestly, you never know what you're really going to get. This team always looks good on paper, and honestly, they have been performing well consistently over these years, but we got to see how this team works out with this new offensive coordinator and this new look offense. Now it's time for the number 1 team in the conference, and I feel like we all have a pretty good idea who it is. Now, before I really get into it though, I have to remind y'all one more time of the giveaway that's going on. If we can reach 50 subs by August 13th, I will be giving away free copies of Madden 27. However, if we are able to reach 100 subscribers by August 13th, I will be giving away free copies of the Madden 27 Deluxe Edition. All you have to do is sub to the channel, follow any other social media platforms, and comment your favorite team under this video for a chance to win. Now, for the number 1 team in the NFC conference, it has to be the Los Angeles Rams. Now, year in and year out, this team is always good. This team is always competitive. This team has always been in the playoffs, but they've always come up short for some reason. And honestly, I feel like this year, this team is walking into the season with the best roster on paper. They have talent at just about every position. They have made good moves this offseason, bringing in Trent McDuffie from the Kansas City Chiefs and trading for Myles Garrett from the Cleveland Browns. 2 key pieces that made this already good defense even better this season. In my opinion, this team has the potential to be one of the most dangerous defenses we've ever seen. Not to mention they still got their veteran quarterback Matt Stafford playing at a very high level. He's damn near looking like the MVP year in and year out. And on top of that, this team has one of the most, if not the best, receiving duo in Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. However, just like every other team, this team does come with some concerns. Even with this team being so stacked and so good as they were last year, they seem to fall apart in late game situations. Hopefully the addition of Myles Garrett will be a good closer for them and they won't have to worry about it as much. But another thing that I paid close attention to is that this team squeaked by or lost to a lot of playoff teams that we've seen last year, and that cannot be the case. If this team wants to be number 1 and stay number 1 and actually make it and win another Super Bowl, they have to get past the best talent in the conference. Last year they looked a little bit shaky. The games were very close against top talent, or they lost to top talent, and that cannot be the case if this team wants to stay number 1. A lot of analysts and even the sports books have this team as being a Super Bowl favorite. I ain't gonna say I believe in it. I ain't gonna say that they're my Super Bowl favorite, but there is a lot of validity to that. That's gonna close it out today. That's my top 5 NFC teams heading into the season. Did I disrespect your team? Do you feel like another team should be number 1? If so, leave it in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because we've got NFL content dropping all season long. But that's gonna be it today, y'all. I'll see y'all in the next video.